Today's collectible spot, we are having a look at the Storm Collectibles Mike Tyson 1/6 scale collectible figure. The youngest heavyweight champion, now in 6 scale treatments. Pretty cool that Storm Collectibles would have produced, well, they are going to be producing the upcoming Hulk Hogan 6 scale figure, which I want to be picking up. But it's pretty cool that they would have gone back and given us Mike Tyson. Certainly for myself, Mike Tyson has left a very memorable mark in my life, as I remember growing up watching his old classic fights. And of course, also fought him myself in the old NES Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. I didn't fare very well then. The box itself has Mike Tyson featured on the front. A really neat white box, very large box I might add as well. Spin around the side of the box. We've got Mike Tyson, the youngest heavyweight champion, 1/6 scale collectible figure. And then finally on the back, Mike Tyson, the youngest heavyweight champion, Storm Collectibles. You can go to www.stormco.com.hk. Special thanks to Everlast as well. This product is considered as a collectible item and made for adult collectible figure collectors. It's not a toy for children under 15 years of age. Spot's going to take a break, get this opened up, and when we come back, we're going to get a better look at the Storm Collectibles Mike Tyson 6 scale figure. There's more heading your way, guys. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. With Mike Tyson out of the box, let's get a better look at the 6 scale figure. Yeah, as you are probably looking at it right now, thinking that something is missing. Can't quite put my finger on it. Could be the fact that he's missing his feet. Could be missing the fact that he's maybe got no hands. And of course, he's got no clothes and no head. It's an interesting sight when you first get the box opened up, as you are treated immediately to a pretty naked, pretty vacant Mike Tyson. There's nothing on him. That's because all the components, the feet, the hands, the head, the clothing, everything you have to put on him. So when you get him out of box, you might be treated to this. Don't be alarmed though. There's some stuff that we're going to add on to the figure. First things first though, as we always do, let's get a first look at his display stand. The first part of the display stand is just basically a black stand with Mike Tyson, the youngest champion, on the front. There are 2 peg holes on either corner of the display stand, as one will hold the waist clip, the other one will hold a rather interesting accessory. And the accessory is a training punching bag, which actually does have a movable bag to it, which is really cool. It's got Everlast on it, and it's stitched exactly the same way as the real life bag would have been represented. There's a hole on the top. You also get yourself a very rather long pole. Gonna attach it to the underside. Want to make sure we got the fully attached here. Just apply a little bit of pressure, and you can go ahead and add it to the display stand. Now it may appear, as Spot's putting this in here, it may appear that the bag seems rather high. But really, if you start factoring in, there's the top of the bag there. If you start factoring in that Mike Tyson, well, even let's bring in the Mike Tyson that we've got so far. The 6 scale figure, once you've added the head, that's appropriately the same height as it should be with a true one-to-one, fighter and sparring glove. The other part of the display stand is the waist clip here. Now there's a little peg point on the back here. Spin around the back, and you'll want to attach the waist clip here. The whole lot, by the way, is so that you can switch it on either side. You take the waist clip post, and that just attaches just on the back like that. And then you can have Mike Tyson posed with the sparring glove bag, or what you can also do too, you can just leave it completely off and just have Mike Tyson posed on the stand itself. We'll revisit the display stand in a second, but let's just get a closer look at, well, let's have a look at the body. The body, unlike most 6 scale figures, which tend to be visible, you can see all the visible joints, all the joints on Mike Tyson here are concealed underneath the rubber suit. The arms, the legs, everything on this figure is underneath a rubber suit. It looks finished, it looks complete. Obviously, it looks more complete once we start adding stuff to it. But it gives you a very realistic look here. On the side, we've got Mike. He's got a tattoo down by his wrist. There's the back of him there with Mike Tyson's bum. But it looks really good. It doesn't feel like puffy either, especially the areas around his top torso. It looks very realistic. Again, just look a little more realistic once we start adding some stuff to it. Why don't we start with the feet? That will obviously let the figure stand. There's a couple of different options you can choose from. He has bare feet that can be pegged into place, or he also has his boxing boots on. Now, you would ask yourself, well, why would he have bare feet? Because there are two different ways that you can have him displayed. So let's say for the moment, let's peg the feet into place. And it's a little harder because you have to get it inside the rubber. It might be even easier, you'll find, to move the rubber just out of the way that you can get the feet pegged into place. But maybe we don't want to get ahead of ourselves first. We want to put clothes on Mike Tyson. So for the first look, we're going to put a jogging outfit on him. And that reason is why you want to leave the feet off first, because you want to get the legs through the jogging outfit, the jogging pants, and get them over top of his legs. Because the legs are rubbery, that skin is rubbery, you have to work a little bit harder to get them up there versus if these were plastic. And get it over his waist. There we go. Just get it right over his waist. And then when that's finished, then we can go ahead and add the feet. Now, once you've got the feet in place and he can actually stand, let's go ahead and grab his hoodie. It's got a real working zipper. We're going to open it up. Pull it off. It's exactly the way as you would normally open up a hoodie with zipper. And we're going to go ahead and feed the hoodie over his arms before we attach the hands. There's one sleeve. And let's go ahead and do it with the other as well. For hand choices, Mike Tyson does come with a couple of different options. You have a pair of taped up closed fists that you can use for him. You also have a pair of open palms, also taped up. And while we're at it, let's look at the other hands that he comes with too. He has a pair of closed-fisted gloves, and he also has a pair of real fabric open gloves. Depending on how you want to have him displayed. Likely, if you're going to be displaying him in his training, you probably want to have the wrists more taped up and leave the gloved hands for when he's in his ring gear. Only thing now that we need is a head for Mike Tyson, and the folks over at Storm Collectibles gives you two different heads that you can have displayed with him. One a more calm Mike Tyson. I personally feel a more suited face for displaying on the training outfit, and a more aggressive Mike Tyson, again, more suitable. You can use either or, but I would say more suitable for his ring gear as opposed to the training gear one. But they both have ball joints. You can easily just swap them out depending on which way you want to have him display. But I think for the purpose of him in his training outfit, I would likely display him with the normal, just regular head. And there you have Mike Tyson with his jogging pants, jogging suit, and hoodie, and taped up gloves. It's a great looking piece. Not likely how I'm going to be displaying him. Of course, I think if you're going to be displaying Mike Tyson, you probably would be displaying him with his black trunks and taped up and the actual boxing gloves. But it's a good alternate look that you can give him as well. And so there you have Mike Tyson with his sweats on. So we've had a look at Mike Tyson in his training outfit. Let's get him ready for the big fight. And for that, Mike Tyson also comes with a pair of Everlast black trunks. Very famous trunks that he wore in his matches. He also has a pair of swappable ring boots that we can change out for, and he also has the interchangeable head as well. So let's get started. Let's get Tyson ready for the big fight. So I've gone ahead and just defaulted him back to how he looks completely naked, completely out of the box as his default look. And what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to first put on his trunks. Slide him just up the legs the same way as you slid up the jogging outfit. And then once that's on, then we're going to go ahead and add the boots. So we just want to slide the trunks up. Of course, wanting to make sure that his legs fit all the way through the shorts bottoms there. And feed this one up. Because the trunks have an elasticized waist, they can be a little harder to get up at first. Once you get them over the thigh area, they're a little bit easier. Just want to bring them up all the way. And just adjust around the waist. And there you've got Mike Tyson with his trunks on. Originally, we were looking at him with the bare feet, but of course, if he's going to be in the ring, you're going to want to be swapping those out for his in-ring boots. And same idea, you can get them in there. You want to just tuck them, make sure that the rubber from his legs are completely tucked inside the boots. And you also want to make sure you have a completely secure fit with the ball joint attached. Once we have that, let's go ahead and pick ourselves some gloves, and as mentioned already, he's got a couple of options for that. He has more relaxed palms, where the palms themselves are sitting inside a real fabric boxing glove. Also with Everlast stitched on the top. You can see how they are stitched together. It doesn't actually have a real hand in this, or it doesn't appear to have a real hand in this, nor would I suggest trying to remove the glove to find out. But it's a good way if you want to have the gloves relaxed. I probably would be in favor, however, to the more closed fist, solid plastic Everlast gloves. These ones are painted a little bit more because, of course, they are plastic as opposed to the material. Still have the simulated stitch up the middle, and they would just peg into place the same way as the taped up hands. Like also the last time, we have the option to either use the more calmer, composed Mike Tyson or the mid-fight Mike Tyson face as well, depending again how you want to have him displayed. I think if you were going to have him in a gesture, like if you were kind of actually having him in a boxing pose, maybe you would go the route of a more aggressive looking Tyson, but I think if you're going to just be displaying him, you could also go with this one as well. Both look exactly like Mike Tyson. It's remarkable the paint and detail that Storm Collectibles put into this guy. And you can see the way his head was shaved. Some nice paint on the back there as well. Again, I'm not really sure which one I would prefer. I kind of really like, just to be honest, the normal expression. But again, if you want a more aggressive Tyson, you can also go this look as well. And for that, let's just go ahead and take the head, prop it on top of the shoulder, the neck, I should say. And because it's rubber, you want to make sure that you've got a fully secured, attached head, that it's not just sitting on top of the neck itself. So I want to make sure you got a fully secure, attached head. And there you've got Mike Tyson complete. I would certainly say that there is no doubt whatsoever that that looks like Mike Tyson. From head to toe, they really did a fantastic job on him. And say what you will, you may not be super crazy about a concealed joint. I mean, there's always that risk that if something happens underneath the rubber frame, but it does definitely give you a more complete look from head to toe, especially around areas such as his knees, areas around his elbows. It's nice, especially for, well, a character that would be bare-chested, and really aside from his trunks, there's not a lot of clothing that he wears. It's nice that you're not seeing a lot of visible bends, of visible joints where elbows and knees would bend. It looks very complete all the way around from front to back. And just to show you, let's bring the camera up here, bring the camera in. Let's show you what it would look like with the normal head. I'm just going to pop the more aggressive Tyson head out and pop that into place. Again, it's completely up to you which way you want to go. I mean, now that I'm actually even looking at it with the the fighter gear on. I think I might even opt to go with the more aggressive Tyson and have him displayed like that. But you can see the difference between the two heads. Let's bring back the display stand that we had a look at before. And we'll go ahead and take Mike Tyson and we'll just fit him on this display stand. Again, you can adjust the arms and whatnot, depending on how you want to have them displayed. Just bend the arms. There we go. Bend the head. And you can get a pretty effective way to display them. You want to also rotate the bag so it's just a little further out. There we go. It's nice that Storm Collectibles wouldn't have just given us a straight out Tyson. I mean, I'm super impressed by Tyson on his own, but it's neat that they would have also included really just the thought that, you know, if you want to be displaying him, you could display him with something more than just a stand in itself. So I really like the inclusion of the sparring bag. We've technically had a look at all the accessories that come with Mike Tyson, except for one, and probably that's the most crucial one, being that he was heavyweight champion of the world. And that is the inclusion of the heavyweight title. It's on a faux green leather strap. On the back you can see how the actual plates were affixed. And like a real belt, it just attaches through the loop and through the loops on the back. The belt is truly a icing on the cake instance here, where if you want to display him not necessarily aggressively in fighting pose, it's pretty cool to have Mike Tyson posed here with his heavyweight title. Also certainly brings me back when I was used to watch the fights with my grandfather, and the old Tyson fights. Still brutal, very aggressive in the ring, and it's very cool that they would have included that with him. When it comes to Mike Tyson's articulation, he does have a ball joint, not only at the top that would sit into the head cavity, but he's also got a secondary ball joint attached to the base of the neck. And again, like, this is all rubber. So when you do move things, you got to be careful that you don't accidentally, do any damage underneath this rubber suit. He's got hinged arms that rotate all the way around and also hinge outward. The shoulders themselves also ratchet up and down because he's likely got a ball joint that attaches to the shoulder. He's got a ball joint that also attaches likely to the torso, giving you that extra movement in the shoulder. He does have a hinge in the elbow, which looks like it could be potentially a double hinge, double bend. He does have what should have been a rotation in the upper bicep, but again, could be a little on the more stiff side because it is encased in the rubber overlaid suit. He has a hinge in the hand, and depending on which hand you end up using, you have a little more flexibility depending on whether you can move it or not. The taped up hands you can move a little bit better than the gloved hands, but you still can get a range of motion there. He's got a waist swivel, and then whereas I feel he's more obstructed in the top torso, he's got a lot more movement going on when it comes to his legs. An upper torso swivel. He's got a double hinge leg, which again, you got to be very careful, but he's got a double hinge knee. And the hardest part, I guess, with a figure like this is just understanding where that joint is. You might even want to just do a kind of a feel test with your finger first to know exactly where and how you can bend that joint. And finally, he's got a ball hinge in the foot section. While Mike Tyson may be as memorable for the infamous things that he did outside the ring as some of the things he did accomplish in the ring, there's no denying whatsoever that Mike Tyson was one of the greatest fighters to step into the boxing ring. Storm Collectibles has done an outstanding job on this figure. I really like the fact that he's got the enclosed rubber suit. While I could potentially worry that you got to be careful, of course, with joints, it does really finish the figure perfectly. You don't see any of the visible bends or any articulation points in the elbows. It does really look like a fully complete figure. The tons of different accessories, you can certainly have him in his training mode. I'd be more inclined to probably have him, as you see right now, in something you would imagine more Mike Tyson to be. But it's cool that they would have given us as much as they did. And it's pretty cool as well that they would have also given us the sparring training bag too. It's a great way to showcase him just going above and beyond a standard display stand. It's perfect for one of the greatest heavyweight champions in boxing history. Today's collectible spot, we were having a look at the Storm Collectibles Mike Tyson, the sixth scale figure. Stay tuned, guys. Spot's going to have more collectible spots heading your way. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.